Isaiah Pacheco is the man at the running back spot for the Kansas City Chiefs. That is known, not a question. What comes next is the question. Is it Clyde? Is it someone else? Can the young guys bring it? Who steps up? That's what we're talking about today. The problem is, I hate to tell you, we got a problem, folks. There's one running back in town, and after that, we don't know what we have at the running back spot. Welcome back to RGR Football. I'm Ryan. This is me going rogue. And while the sirens are going, I do want to say that there is a lot of questions about where we have to go next. And we're not talking about the running back spot enough. There are a couple of things that are leading me towards a decision point that I think the Chiefs are going to have to make that I'm not necessarily happy about. But what are they? It's very clear. Isaiah Pacheco is the number one. He's going to be the number one. He is their guy. And honestly, nothing has made me feel more about that than the fact that he is barely practicing. By my snap counts, as I've gotten the information, 5, 6 touches. And hey, take it easy, Pops. We don't need to work you very much in training camp. You got this. Now, I think he showed back up. He looks good. He looks a little bit lighter and hopefully a little bit more explosive. But I think the Chiefs are really trying to just kind of keep it on the down low. We don't need to push him now. We need him in January. That's when Pops needs to go. I also think that there's a distinct possibility that they could be planning to give him more touches, more carries this year. I've been getting a lot of questions on our live streams, which are on Monday nights. So make sure that you're here at 7 Central because they are live and we just answer your questions. And they want to know, is he going to get to 20 carries a game? I don't see that. I don't see anybody getting that with an Andy Reid offense. But I do think they're going to give him more run than they have in seasons past, and they're taking super easy on him right now in training camp because of that. Now, the big question becomes, who's up after that? What do you got? There's Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who I think also showed up leaner, lighter, and a little bit more in shape. That's great, and I hope that that pays off. But in the end, he's a pass-catching back that has never gotten into a great rhythm catching the passes. Had a couple of drops in camp so far. They don't give him enough run in the running game, although he had a couple of nice plays last season. Is that enough to make you think that he is a solid backup to sit behind Isaiah Pacheco and get the job done? I don't know that they're convinced. Honestly, I don't know that I'm convinced, but I need to see it. The pads are coming on soon, and as they get closer to the preseason games, this is going to be one of the things that we have to be keyed in on, is what is Clyde Edwards-Helaire able to bring to this team this season? Now, past him, there's a lot of question marks. I mean, he is a question mark as well, so let's not be lying here. But I do want to say a lot of excitement about the younger guys. Amadi Bailey looks like he's got some kick return potential. He's got a lot of wiggle to him. I think that he's got some explosiveness to him. I'm not sure if I'm ready to put it on the 53 yet. I've seen not very much in terms of taking that next step forward and carving out a spot on the roster for him. But I hope that he can do that. I think the most intriguing guys are this fact that the Chiefs have gone and made a concerted effort to put Kadraius Toney in at running back. Again, if you haven't been on our live streams, I've been covering this team for going on 13 years, been in football for over 20, and this stinks of a move that we don't know how he's going to contribute to us. He could be a kick returner. We'll let him catch some passes, but we don't know that we trust him. So we're trying to find another way to put him into this offense and get something out of him. Andy Reid said that he was happy with the work that he's been doing and that he has been making some plays and he's comfortable back there. Well, I'm glad that he's comfortable. Now it's time to be productive. That's what we have to see out of Kadraius Toney. The young guys are there, and obviously nobody's hotter right now than Louis Rees-Zammit, Grease Lightning, the man from Wales that hopes to make the transition to the NFL. I hope that he can. It looks like he's got some kick return duties. He's still getting a lot of those reps. And he's starting to get a little bit more in the running back position. I don't know that it's a groundswell for him, but he's getting a little bit more. As the pads come on and as the preseason games roll out, he's got to make that transition and show us that he can be an American football player. He doesn't have to be American. He needs to be an American football player. And that is the key. And I think once he gets there, especially after we found out really about what his speed equivalencies are. And if you haven't been out to camp yet, I've heard a lot of things about just how if he gets on his horse and gets after it, he can push for speed for anybody in the running back room, but even with some of the wide receivers. And that's going to be a key for him because that's what's missing. And I think that's why, back to Kadraius Toney, they're trying to look at this is put those two guys in there as somebody that can bring some spark, bring some speed, bring some explosiveness out of that position, because Pops is great, but Pops is going to grind. He's going to run angry and he's going to come at you, but he's not going to run away from you. He doesn't have Jamal Charles gear. Nobody really does except for Xavier Worthy on here. We're not going there with him in the backfield. So then comes Carson Steele, who is an H fullback type, dedicated. It's honestly too bad for him because if he was still at UCLA with Eric Bieniemy there, I think he'd be getting a lot of run. Ran for over 800 yards last year and catches the ball very well. That's what they're looking for. He can do the pass protection as well. I don't know that you see him as a tailback. I think it is an H fullback role, and that's perfectly fine. A lot of guys that have options there. It all comes down to who can be productive and who can really take the role in order for me to feel comfortable that they don't have to go out and get somebody else, because there's a lot to it. And Keontae Ingram's in there. I know Dan likes him quite a bit. That he could be another option yet. But there's one more thing. We've been talking a lot about running backs today. There's one guy we haven't talked enough about, and that's Deneric Prince, because Prince is up there with Clyde, ahead of Clyde some days in getting touches with the offense. And that's all that matters. I don't care about drills. I don't care about who shows up first. I don't care about anything other than who gets touches behind Pops. That's what I'm looking for. And right now, for the offense, for Matt Nagy, for Andy Reid, they are giving Deneric Prince a lot of touches early in camp. I think that's exploratory to try to find out if he can handle that load. Can he show us that he's got that next gear? What has he learned? That's, I think, the key. But it's pushing Isaiah Pacheco probably to stay on the sidelines and take a little bit more rest so they can find out more about where Deneric Prince is in relation to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And I think that right now, as my 53-man projection came out this year, it was Pops, Clyde, Deneric, and then I went with LRZ. I'd like to see Steele on the roster. I don't know if that's going to happen, but he should be on the practice squad. I do think he's shown enough already to get himself there. The question is that enough? Deneric Prince, I've got to see it, and I've got to see it against competition. So whatever he's doing now, I'm glad that he's making some kind of move, but I got to see it against competition, both in the preseason. And if it gets to this point where 53-man, he's on it, which I expect, he's got to make some plays in the regular season. That is a must. Before we can get there, though, they have to decide whether they feel comfortable with him being a backup, being a third, because he's not enough of a change of pace and different enough from Clyde and Pacheco to really make you think that he's a third down specific player. He's no Jet McKinnon, that's for sure. And then it comes to who's got the speed. Are they going to use Toney for that? Are they going to use LRZ? There's a lot of questions about the running back position, and it's going to play more of a role. We're loving this deep ball offense in training camp. But the flip side of that is that when defenses back off and play deep coverage and play light boxes, you got to be able to exploit that. And the number one way to do that is running the ball. The number two way to do that is throwing it short. The number three way to do that is throwing it short over the middle. Those are the things that you got to do, and the running backs are going to play key roles. So I'm pushing right now to get Deneric Prince more touches and honestly get him to the point where they can test like how much load he can take. And I want to see LRZ in there. The Kadraius thing, if it can really grow some legs, then maybe. But I got to see more to believe it. Where are you? Let me know down below. Make sure you like and sub and get on this channel. Make sure that you're with us because we are here year-round, no matter what. Whether it's football season, playoff season, draft season, front office season, free agency, we got you all here with me and my staff on RGR Football. I appreciate you guys being here. Have a great night. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.